Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the swear word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and hey, this is a podcast for the Chiliad community, by the Chiliad community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Up tonight, we have an amazing dual guest episode, locked and loaded, and a very fun dual round game planned. So, episode 168 starts now. What's going on, Swear Nation? So glad to have everyone here. Whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, and or Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for making this podcast what it is. Continue to share this out with other like-minded chiliheads or individuals that are curious about the world of hot. This is where you can find everything to do with the world of hot. Now, so glad to have everyone here as we wrapped up 2025. We're now rolling into 2026. Things are going to start really getting added in. There might be a little bit of shakeups here and there on a few things, but it will be fun along the way. So just know there is a nice plan for a path forward to make this podcast even better and just continue to add value and bring in fun, new, creative ways amongst the whole entire community and some of the surrounding areas that have, some common crossovers. So should be a lot of fun. And looking forward to that. And thank y'all all for making 2025 amazing and looking forward to a very strong and very fun 2026. So up tonight, we have two guests, both Dan and Josh from IntergalacticSauces here as our guests tonight. So we're going to be diving into, love for music, love for sauce, the overall inspiration for how IntergalacticSauces got started, the story, the journey, the whole path in between, and much, much more, as well as a very fun dual round version of the 5. And it's always fun whenever there's two guests and you're having to make these decisions on the game. So if you would have answered the game any differently than Dan or Josh did, please fire off in the comments. Let me know how you would have played the game a little bit different, or if you have any questions that you would like to see asked, go ahead and fire those off as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick it on over to tonight's discussion. Hey, Dan. Hey, Josh. How's it going?
Doing great.
Glad to have y'all here. As I've kind of got to know your brand, I've got to see y'all online. Super excited to learn more about what y'all have going on. And of course, kind of like what was the inspiration behind it all. So, the one icebreaker that I always have, the only set question, which is what got y'all into the world of hot? And then what was that catapulting moment that you said, you know what, I'm going to start making my own sauces?
Okay, well, I guess I'll take this one by the horns here. It started about 10 years ago. Actually, this year is our 10-year anniversary, where I moved back to Winnipeg from Saskatchewan, and I wasn't doing kitchens and stuff like that. I'd been in kitchens for, at the time, 15 years, and moved back, and I said, hey, I want to start doing pop-ups. So I started doing smoked meat, barbecue, doing sandwiches and tacos. Eventually, it just went to tacos. And what goes better with tacos than hot sauce, right? So my mom was growing some peppers. She's like, here, I have these for you. And I started experimenting and doing some things. Started going to the local Asian supermarket and discovering Superhots like ghosts and stuff like that. Uh, Eventually started making more and more sauces, and people were like, these are amazing. That gave birth to our Cosmic Coyote, which was our first sauce we ever launched. It's now on volume 11, 12, I guess, next year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this year was volume 10,
yeah.
I believe.
And then from there, I ended up going back into kitchens. So just doing this like part-time for fun, right?
Okay.
Because you got to keep yourself entertained and all that kind of shit when you're doing not kitchens, hospitality. But ended up meeting Josh at a kitchen here in Winnipeg. And from there, we were like, you know what? We're best friends now. met through music, basically.
Very
Walked
cool.
in and I was like, do you like Caius? And he's like, yeah. So we started working together, doing all that kind of stuff for taco pop-ups, doing music festivals, Winnipeg Socials, which is basically a fundraiser for weddings, uh, and just a bunch of other kind of things underground. And when COVID hit, we had to make a decision because you couldn't do pop-ups, you couldn't do these big social gatherings. So we decided to make the complete switch to sauces. And from there, we've been just been going strong. Last year, we was our first year doing markets and a full year of just giving her. And this is going to be the start of the 2026 season, basically.
I love it. Great time to have those beginnings forge as 2026. For those that are, you hear about this all the time now. Definitely more on social media. The whole numerology thing with that boiling down to one, and one being a like leadership, a brand new path, a new start. Having these strong roots founded. So I guess like from that standpoint, that's pretty cool to hear as well. Josh, what about you? What was that moment to really kind of dive into spicy food for you?
I mean, it's very much as Dan said it. We I grew up with the parents that cooked food that had spice, but not anything as hot as we're doing. But it was meeting in the kitchen and cutting brisket all day, and then having a couple beers at the bar after, and just one thing led to another, And then when COVID hit and we couldn't do tacos anymore, it was just obviously a no-brainer to dive full into sauce. And those first couple of years were fun, driving 8 hours around the city, dropping off sauce to every corner of this corner of Winnipeg, and then look where we are now. So it's didn't ever think it would come to be what it is now. Certainly, like
Yeah, no, that's very
didn't think
cool.
we'd see our name on big festival screens as sponsors and on bottles with bands we've loved for 20 years. Like it's wild. So
Yeah. Well, and that's, I guess, where I was about to head next with that was, I guess, the love for music was kind of there before the love for, say, spicy food, or would you?
oh, I mean, absolutely. Like for me, for sure, I still tour and play as a drummer, not nearly as much as I used to, but I've been playing professionally out in public for 24 years at this point. So, yeah, music came first, but it's really like how we treat this business, how we treat the sauces. It's all very similar to what I've been doing and what Dan did as a musician as well. It was an easy transition in that respect. It's a lot of the same things that we do that I used to do and still do as a musician. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice. Was there, I guess, when you were starting more so, was there a band that you had or that y'all had in mind that you were like, man, this would be so sweet if they had this sauce?
So it's funny that you mentioned that because we ended up doing that collaboration with Comeback Kid. Uh, Obviously, Josh and I love music, so it was one of those mutual bands that we have a fondness for. And of course, they're from Winnipeg, so there's that homegrown spirit. And doing a collaboration with them was definitely one of those big goals for us. And when they asked us to do a sauce with them, we lost our minds.
Yeah, I mean, we had
And of course,
Jeremy come down and batch it with us the first time around. Like he hung out for the whole night, the guitar player, and just if you're from Winnipeg, it's pretty hard to avoid Comeback Kid. I mean, they're known all over the planet, but certainly being from here and having that album come out 20 years ago, to then having the guitar player in the kitchen with us, like cutting peppers and stuff. Yeah, it's weird. It's
Yeah.
cool though.
Yeah, that's so cool. And yeah, I mean the crossover, these hot sauces, the extreme heat, the metal, just like the heavier music in general, all these things just vibe so well together. And like it's almost as if they were made to go hand in hand at times, right? It's very cool. You got the self-expression on different avenues in different areas, and it's a lot of fun to see. And that had to be a very, very fun, pivotal moment for y'all. One of the things that is often talked about is, just overall the success journeys of things. But, what a lot of folks don't see is the hardship, the grind, the perseverance that has to be put forward to really make this thing come together. And from that standpoint, I guess, like, what were some of those moments, or did you have a moment when y'all were like, maybe we shouldn't, like, maybe we kind of got in and bought a bit off a bigger bite than we needed to, right?
I mean, we're both laughing because I think we're
Constantly.
probably thinking the same thing. I mean, honestly, it feels like that every day sometimes. The like, what have we done? What are we doing? Is this ever going to work? The imposter syndrome of it all, I guess. And then it's tough. Like, we both quit our jobs just, a year and a half ago. Like, we're like, we just dive in. We have to do this. If we're doing this, let's do it proper. And it's terrifying, right? So, yeah. But that's kind of the fun of it, too, is that that's what pushes us. Because if we don't keep going, then it's all for nothing. So, it's the same as getting in a van and not knowing if you're going to make any money for a month and going and playing shows and coming home gross and malnourished and stinky. But hey, you had a good show and you had a good tour and stuff. So
Yeah, and like right now, there's no backup plan. This is the plan. Like we want to make this happen so bad. It's it's awesome, and we appreciate everyone who's been along for the ride, everyone who supported us, and everyone who has been a part of it. Our designer, our artists, photographers, promoters, etc. Everyone,
kitchen
and
guys, everybody.
we honestly owe it all to them.
Yeah. I mean, y'all have some amazing artwork here. I'll go ahead and pull that up while we were talking about it too. So pull up the website for everyone that is wanting to make sure they're in the correct place. Yes, you've landed here. Now you get immediately greeted with this great lineup, great visual pop, right? Telling what you're going to be expecting. You get to see, I love the almost like, I mean, obviously it's like cartoon-esque, but that almost like cartoon realism to it. It gives it a nice feel, a nice vibe to the overall labeling that you have going on here. I guess, what was the inspiration, and are they all, telling like a continuous story, or what is the idea behind the overall design and labeling?
So these ones were like all of our mainstays. A lot of our initial ones, the first five, all the artwork was done by Harley Cataclysm, uh, Necrographics out of Regina. Amazing, amazing artist. Check him out Instagram. Uh, yeah, we commissioned him out to do all these artwork, and it's been amazing. He's such a talented artist, especially with like the small details. Like in the big sky, you can see in the sky, it's actually like a bright, vibrant array of just big sky constantly, and it's just completely psychedelic. But yeah, every sauce has a story, just like albums, right? Album art, we treat it the exact same. So say with like we'll start with or close on Sundays. Close on Sundays. We're from, so I guess southern Manitoba, which is considered the Bible Belt, and everything here used to be closed on Sundays. Just straight up, whole lot of big religious stranglehold on the community. And we're from hospitality. And so a lot of the times those restaurants would be closed on Sundays and Mondays because those were our weekends. And so it starts with like that kind of stuff, or it goes like Big Sky is our nod to giant sky. You can see for miles. The old joke is that your dog could run away and you can see him 2 days later.
Mm-hmm.
Still running away. Right.
That's funny. Well, yeah, I mean, I love it, and I do like that as you're saying, it made more sense to me as well. It is much more of that album art kind of feel in what you're getting. So I love what y'all have going on here. And so you mentioned obviously the very first sauce that you started with. Now, what was kind of the inspiration aspect there? I mean, obviously y'all were cooking food and having the sauce that was, utilizing the food, etc. But was it really fitting a specific dish, or was it kind of like what y'all had seen as being missing in the market?
So for me, like when doing Cosmic Bounty, I'll say it's a fluke. Kind of throwing things that are seeing what worked. And as I said, like I'd been in the hospitality industry for 15 years at the time. Josh had yet been a part of the picture, but For that one, it was like I liked my smoke. I wanted heat. I wanted sweetness, and I wanted that garlickness, and it all come together with that Cosmic Coyote, and just threw it together. Different variations, obviously. Now we have it finally dialed into a point where we're proud of it, and it's consistent year to year. When we use local peppers, use local product, and keep it just simple. There's only 5 ingredients other than our brine.
All right, all right. I like it. I like it. And then I guess from there, it's like you got plugged into the markets. You got to really have those full on market days, as you were saying. And so from there, was it kind of taking the overall kind of input and just overall vibe from those that are trying it to help craft and create the steps forward, or where did those kind of other inspirational draws come from?
So when we started growing, like I said, we hadn't done markets until late
We had done a couple,
2023.
but yeah, we had done a couple here and there, but it was like a friend's brewery or something. Hey, you guys want to come up and sell a couple songs? Like we weren't taking it. Like it was this last year where we were like, all right, let's do every single market, every single event, every single festival, every single thing we can put ourselves at in front of people. And then Dan had sausages come as they come, right? We just different things get developed for different ideas we have, and
Just for
then
fun.
and then the names are always like a cheeky thing that we do. Like the name's just as important as the label, just as important as what's inside the sauce, right? And so like
Absolutely.
friendship has a pretty heavy story, and then Tanqua not so much, right? Like they're kind of all depends on the sauce, I'd say.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And yeah, like and before we even started the markets, like we were doing very, very DIY. And so like it was like I said, it was like small festival, like music festivals, underground shows, uh, all that kind of stuff, just small pop-ups. And what we were doing is basically just like whenever anyone wanted sauce, we would deliver it. Like I would get on my bike, Josh would drive, et cetera, et cetera. Like we would do it ourselves. And that's how we really wanted to start this thing. It was very grassroots.
Yeah. No, that's super cool. Now, with you still going around touring, playing music, do you take the sauces there? Do y'all, sell them alongside merch, etc.? Like, how does that pan out for you?
Oh, I mean, with the bands I'm playing with and stuff, not really. Like, I'll just do like a fly out, do a weekend, and then usually, I mean, especially this past summer, come right back and go right back to wherever we are sauce wise. So that's just it's my I need to do it
It's
thing, so I don't go crazy and stuff.
the creative outlet. Okay. All right. I get
Well,
it.
I mean, yeah, it's just as much a creative outlet as this is. It's more just I don't know how to explain it. If I don't play drums, I get sad, So it's like, but with the band, with the bands that we've worked with and stuff, they'll take out the sauce that we're doing with them and they'll sell it at their merch tables, which is it's a growing trend we find to see things like beers and coffees and hot sauces on merch tables. Like it's come a long way from just a t-shirt and a hat and a patch being the things you could buy, or maybe a hoodie, but
Yeah.
that was a trend we even noticed. Like when we launched Big Sky, we did it with Elder and Howling Giants at their show. Like they're two American stoner metal bands, right? They're both American, yeah, they're both American. And we launched
Yeah,
Big
they're both
Sky.
American. Nope.
We launched Big Sky at that show because they were that was the sound that we had inside Big Sky. And then Howling Giants merch guy also makes the sauce. I think he's from Denver or wherever he's something like that. I don't know. And we're looking at
Portland.
it. We're like, Portland. Thank you. Sure. Yeah, I couldn't remember. I just guessed. Yeah, we looked at that. We're like, he's doing a sauce for them. That's neat. We should start thinking about maybe trying to pitch some bands sauces. Why not? Right? Like DIY. Let's just go out there, meet them. Worst they can say is no.
Yeah. It's a super smart idea. Commonplace. Like you already think about this in general. Like typically when you're drinking, you're having a good time, your impulsivity to buy excess things you probably wouldn't have is already like elevated whenever you're in that scenario. So to be in an environment like, a concert, in any kind of like where live music's being played, you're hanging out with friends, you're having a great time, you're loving the music that's going on, you're able to, relax a little bit. Those impulse buys like that, sure, you can buy the shirt and all that stuff, but like you can use the sauce. So like your brain's already thinking like, oh man, this would be so great. I could go pick up food on the way home and all this, really starts to add into as to why that area does seem to make a lot of sense.
Well, it's also becomes collector's items, right? And people will even like with our mainstays and like our limited edition sauces, they'll collect them, right? They'll use the bottle and then keep the bottle, clean out the bottle, and you keep it on their shelves.
Yeah. Yeah. I try so hard to gain, if I go for trying a sauce, I try to get a second sauce so that I have something. But even those don't tend to last. I end up going like just recently this last week, I was sitting there and I was like, man, I was eating something. I don't even remember what I was eating. But I just remember having this urge to like, I really want this sauce with this food right now. And all I could think of was like, well, I have the one on the shelf. And so sadly, it did not stay full and on the shelf. It got utilized, but that's what it was created for. So like, I can't hate myself for it. So
Yeah, I've definitely gone through our own like, oh, I'm out of this one. I guess we'll just dip into our own stash.
yep. Yeah, I mean, hey, you got to do it sometimes. You definitely have to. Okay. All right. All right. So as far as what y'all have, you went full send 2020. You've now you're ramping up for 2026, and so with this whole transition and path looking forward, where are y'all looking to take the overall business? And are there any sauces or any new products in the works that y'all have been, kind of looking at? Now, you don't have to give away every little teaser, but just something here is just out of curiosity.
Um, yeah, so this year, like I said before, like it's our 10-year anniversary, and we're definitely planning on some big things this year. We have a mead collab that we're doing. We have a beef jerky collab that we're doing. We're
We have
releasing multiple
a
collabs that we have in the works.
we have a gin one that you and I forgot about. I was thinking about it yesterday.
Ooh,
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
it's
very
gonna be
going to be working on that one soon.
a
Uh,
Father's Day for
we
that
have a
one.
sauce we're doing for our 10-year anniversary, which is going to be called Snowblind. So you're from Texas, so I don't know if you understand. But when you're driving down the highway in Manitoba when it's in winter and the wind's blowing and it's sunny as hell out, you literally get snowblind. You can't see the highway and you're just hoping you stay on the lane.
yep.
So that's our inspiration for that one.
It's the same as, and I always think of it too. Like I always think of it as when I'm like skiing or snowboarding, and it's sunny out, and then it just you're yeah, it's and we've got I mean Manitoba's flat, but we do have ski hills here, and the mountains aren't too far away. So like yeah, either whether it's the highway or skiing, yeah, snowblind. It's just such a we always want to make nods to where we're from, right, and tie back into our silly little Winnipeg roots and stuff. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. And
All right.
and there's festivals coming up this year, and we want to be pushed bigger for the ones that we're doing, and the getting more of the attention of the people we want to get the attention from, and then ultimately getting this sauce in every in stores all across Canada is for sure another goal for this year, and being able to produce to keep up with that, and want to be in
Absolutely.
everyone's fridge, everyone's
Yeah.
fridge.
Yeah.
Grow,
Yeah.
grow, 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 grow.
Well, I guess from that standpoint, I guess a two-part question here. I guess the first one being, as far as y'all's main sales, overall sales that are going out, is that mostly consolidated to Winnipeg? Are you looking at a more broad scope of Canada? Are y'all in other parts of the world now? Like, where does that stand? I guess that would be the first question. We'll just wrap that one there, and then I'll ask the next one next.
So right now, a lot of our sales are based in Winnipeg, Manitoba in general. We are branching out slowly to other parts of Canada. There are niche specialty stores that just carry hot sauce, that carry us. And we're trying to just branch out slowly, especially to the mom and pop and the smaller stores. Because I'll be honest, these big chains, we'd rather support the small guy. We'd
Mhm.
rather have more people go into the mom and pop stores, the specialty stores, and support them because they need it. They need it right now. Um, as for like everyone's fridge, we want to be on everyone's counter. We want to be on everyone's pocket and purse.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine last night who was asking me about just how things are going and how this year was and how this year coming up is going to be, and he was asking about retail, and I said yeah, and I started listing off just in Winnipeg, never mind the surrounding areas and beyond, and I was just listing off Winnipeg, and he goes, man, like that's kind of everywhere in the city, and I said yeah, like we've hit sort of the key, not key, but we've hit a lot of different, like we've got breweries, meat stores, barbecue stores, grocery stores, and he's like, and once you keep going, eventually that becomes, you just become, it's just, you see something new at the store, and then all of a sudden 10 years later corn pops are everywhere, right? Like you just,
Mm-hmm.
so if we could become that part of that thing where you're just used to seeing our brand on a shelf somewhere or at someone's barbecue or whatever, like that's kind of the ultimate, like just be assumed that you're going to be there, right? Like
Yeah.
Heinz ketchup's going to be at a barbecue. You don't have to like, hey, are you guys going to have baseball mustard? No, it'll be there. So why not shoot for just having that be what we are, right? We're everywhere, and
Yeah.
people assume that we're everywhere because
Yeah.
we've done the work to be like, I don't know. We're I'm a psychopath in the head this way, like, and Dan is too, for sure, right? We think about, we blue sky stuff, and then we come back down to where it makes sense, then we push up again, right? Like
Yep. Well, that's a great
you
mindset to
guys are,
have.
right? Like I don't. It's, and if you don't, then why? Like I don't know. I just rather, I'll be boring with my YouTube selections at night. I'm gonna shoot big for the stuff that we want to push for. So it's worked out so far. We've asked for some crazy things and gotten on them. Festivals and collabs and people we've connected with. Like just send an email and they go, okay, that sounds great. Let's talk. And it's like, what? But if you don't ask, then you'll never know. And if you, that connection will make another connection, will make another connection. So
Always shoot your
that's
shot.
Yep. Absolutely.
always. Because if
Well,
you don't, someone else will, right? And
absolutely. That's the whole thing about it, is so many people, definitely in today's day and age, you're seeing this more and more so. They're having much more issues like communicating with each other, in the sense that they're so used to quick little like blurbs in a text that's like, it just doesn't actually equate to a full length understanding of someone. There's not a lot of this whole like quick shorts and all these other things. They're great for getting attention, but when there's like the masses that are just stuck in those shorts instead of like longer, deeper conversations, really understanding things, like you're missing out on a huge part. And part of that also plays into what you're talking about there, which is the idea of just simply asking. Like, don't be fearful of it, because that whole process of having those short hits makes you less inclined to want to engage in that, right? And so if you're not engaging in that, then you're never going to know what you're going to be possibly able to do, and or what you're going to be able to accomplish.
100%.
Exactly. And like when we'd talk to people all the time about sauces. Like we'll be sitting at, there's a company called Leopold, we'll sit at their bar all the time, and they carry our sauces for table service. And when people ask for hot sauce, they bring them our sauces, and we're like, that's awesome. And we'll go up to them and talk to them, and we'll tell them stories about the sauce. We'll tell them about other sauces that they can try. and just engage with people because it's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a family in from Mexico over the Christmas break. The like, grandparents and parents were visiting, and we were sitting as we usually are at the wood at Leo's, and our friend the server said, "Hey, like that table over there asked about sauce, so I brought them out all your stuff, and then they saw you guys, they want to like know more about it." So just yeah, I went over and just you have that, "Hey, how's it going?" And and then they're like, "Oh, you guys made this," and we're like, "Yep." And then you just have a good interaction, and it's just it's that's the fun thing. I love people. I'm such an extra. I've always been that way. Like walk into a room and just try to annoy everybody by talking with them and stuff. So like,
Yeah,
right?
no, I can relate with that. That was a big problem. So much more so that it was problematic growing up that I had to learn how to shut my mouth and just listen. And man, that was a hard thing to break. But the second I
Oh
did, it made it so much better because then all
yeah,
of a sudden it was like everyone wanted to talk. It wasn't just me
The number
ranting
of
about
times I've had
something.
to reel Josh in sometimes. Slow down.
yeah. But again, like through restaurants I've worked in and worked in with Dan, a former mayor of Winnipeg is like a homie of ours because we used to. City Hall was like a block from this place I worked at. He would come in for lunch twice a week. And down the road, we're at a festival this summer, and he comes rolling through with someone else, and he goes, "Oh, hey!" Like, and he just knows us, and it's like the people around us are like, "In what world does the mayor know? Like the former mayor just know you guys by name?" And we're like, "I don't know, just make him lunch a couple times, go out and chat, and then he comes to this other place we're at because he likes the food there, and
Yeah, it's
we just
super
put,
cool stuff.
we just put ourselves out there and hope for the best."
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I mean, once again, to that before, it's like you won't know until you actually, just put forth the effort in general. Hey, if you crash and burn on something, like don't let that define you. Let that help educate you, learn from it, and then reperfect. Go approach it again. And it's
That's definitely something I've learned from Josh. Josh has taught me, especially throughout the 6, 7 years that we've known each other. Like, don't beat yourself up and good doesn't happen. Try and focus on the positive. And honestly, I'm grateful for him because without him, I don't feel like this company would have be where it is. And I needed that.
yeah,
Yeah, and vice versa. Like we're the absolute insane yin and yang of this thing, and it just makes sense and works because we're super different but super the same at the same time. I was looking up Mike Modano quotes because the Gretzky "you miss 100% of the shots you don't make" thing is
yeah,
Modano says he was famous for saying, "I skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it has been."
yep,
Right, like
absolutely.
so that's huh.
What a weird Dallas Stars connection.
But that's kind of it, right? Like we will send the email to the big comedy festival and be like, "Hey, can we be involved in this? Like we're going to go to where it's going, not where it's like we're not just going to sit around and do the stuff that has been done before, right? Like
Yeah,
Yeah. And it's
and
like we're a sponsor for Manitoba Metal Fest every year. Uh, no one
we've
else
been
is doing that. Like,
we've been invited to be like one of a few vendors on big music fests downtown and stuff because we were somewhere else that put us in front of that, and that was because of something else. And right, like send that cold email, ask that random question, chase down that random like connection or whatever, because look what happens.
yeah, yeah. So I guess with that, now you have all these different sports teams will have their, hot sauce preference, their, ketchup all these different things, right? They like break down all the different condiments. This is the beer of the, all that stuff, right? From I guess I'm trying to think of like hockey teams in general. I can't think of too many that have their own hot sauce, you know, a sponsored brand, associated brand.
Polar
Is it the,
bears
Yeah,
in
the polar bear's a
Florida have
stanky.
stankies. Yeah.
didn't the Ducks have
Uh,
something? Or
did they?
I feel like, or San Jose, there was somebody, there was a team that did a thing for the 1 year. I don't know. We
Internet to the rescue.
Yep. Take a
just
look at
talking like
this.
hockey teams and hot sauce.
Yeah.
We worked. So like Josh Morrissey is one of the assistant captains for the Jets, and he does a charity golf tournament every fall, and we ended up being able to set up and sell and sample at one of the holes, and met most of the Jets that day, and most of them tried it, and a couple of them bought the sauce, and it was just like, again, it's one of those, like, I'm a diehard old school Jets 1.0 fan. Dan wasn't, so he was a Canucks fan because of the Moose, because he's just enough younger than I am that he missed out on the first iteration of the Jets, but like,
Both my
having,
teams are in the bottom of the league right now.
yeah, well, right, woo, my only
Well,
team's in the league, but
yeah, to that point with the teams in the bottom of the league, that's whenever they weren't necessarily in the bottom then, but I think it was 2016, maybe 2015. I ended up having to take a mental shift and appreciate hockey for the raw talent on the ice, as opposed to like hunkering into only one team. And that's not to say, and I still have the same mentality. So it's like, to give some context to that, it's not to say that if the Stars are playing somebody, I'm just gonna not root for them. Like, I will still root for them. They're my home team, so like I will lean into that. But I still try to admire those that are on the ice. What are they accomplishing? Because a lot of people will get tied up on one player while they're at a said team. But then the second that player leaves to go to another team, it's not that person's just all of a sudden like, oh man, now they suck too. Like, no, like they're still good talent. You just gotta appreciate it.
oh yeah, I mean, we've
Sorry, to go back to the who has what teams have a hot sauce. The Ottawa Senators have a sauce called the Enforcer, done by Ginger Goat.
Ah, and then Melinda's has I think it's the Florida Panthers, I think,
was that what I
and
was thinking?
Tabanero, I think, is also. Well, it said that they had both of those at some point. So I don't know if those are both still active there, but both of those are listed as well. But yeah, interesting.
Neat.
How far we've come from the days of Yager having a peanut butter and that being the coolest thing ever.
It's like
Hey,
Patrick also has a hot sauce.
it's it's wild to think, like, because it wasn't until recently, really, that I guess it would become more mainstream, more acceptable mainstream to be into like things like hot sauce and spicy, products in general. A lot of people just enjoyed them, but didn't really talk about them, which was always interesting. But like to see that just continuously climb in overall adoption, popularity, etc. That when you were talking about, leaning into these different band, venues, etc., and really kind of like leaning into that side, it made me think like, how many people are kind of overlooking the idea of just flat out the sports side of things.
Yeah. Well, we did 2 rounds of a sauce for a bodybuilder who runs a gym up here, and he's the strongest man in Western Canada, I
Yeah,
believe, right? Like, and he is a
yeah, he's won that title twice. Yeah, Tyler
monstrous.
Ferguson,
But
huge human being.
like bodybuilders, turns out they love hot sauce, and I've got another friend who runs a gym, and she like can't have her eggs without Tanquois because it's become a part of her like routine and a part of her. They're the fit. They eat all the certain things because it's good for their body. I don't know. I eat craft dinner and stuff, so I have no idea. But apparently, so like bodybuilders, we find a lot like because they want that punishment. Maybe it's like we.
I was gonna say it's probably a lot more of that fitness aspect where like they have to have a certain amount of macros, they have to have a certain amount of protein, fiber, et cetera, carbs, and they want their food to have personality.
Mm-hmm.
And like not everyone knows how to cook, and that's fine. That's okay. So we can provide that flavor and that little bit of joy in their life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then it's
Well,
also like we find like recovering addicts also are a huge buyer of heat because you
yeah.
get that rush, the peppers, the endorphins kick in. You know, it's like chasing some like it's just cool to find like when someone tells you why they're addicted to whether it's our sauce or someone else's sauce. The reasons are always neat because it's never the same.
Yeah. Well, and both of those avenues, yeah, I hear those a lot with the bodybuilders, with those that are either trying to give up, bad habit in general, whether that be drinking or drugs or what have you. It helps kind of facilitate in two different ways. Helps kind of facilitate remedying the problem that they're having. Bodybuilders oftentimes they're tired of eating the same old repetitive meal. They want something with no calories or low calories that's not going to impact things. And then very true to what you're saying. It's like those that are trying to break off of an addiction, utilizing that to become essentially their new addiction, without it actually being an addictive thing itself. You're just kind of like addictively chasing that experience, that body rush, if you will. So.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. All right. All right. Well, I do have a very fun game, but we still have a few more minutes that we could easily dive into this a little bit deeper. So, just out of curiosity, I mean, I feel like this kind of already answered itself. Y'all's own like personal joys. Like, what do you like to do outside of just making sauce? Like, what do you do for recreational fun?
I don't
I mean,
have fun.
yeah, yeah. I chase my kids around. That's what keeps me busy the
Hear
rest
that?
of the time. Play music and then yeah, and my kids. Those are the big. That's what. Yeah, I'm burnt out by the end of the day with them, but it's the best. So, and then Dan doesn't have fun. He just likes his dog, and that's about it.
Yeah, I work out and hang out with my dog. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This guy right here.
Very nice. And how old is he?
Parts four.
Okay, all right.
He's a pandemic puppy.
I
Yep.
I ask only because yesterday was my dog's birthday, and I was normally he comes barging into the studio and will sleep under my feet, but he's far too tired downstairs, apparently for that. So,
I'm actually shocked. He's actually been very well behaved today.
well,
We tried recording some food sampling and review videos yesterday, and he was cooperative.
Well, yeah, that definitely can be a problem. I know I've had a few times where I'll do a recording, and so Bentley, my dog, is an English bulldog, and he snores so loud. Like even whenever he's not actually snoring, his natural purr, if you will, is so loud. And so there's been quite a few times where I'll get comments back in videos like, "Someone's sleeping in the background." Like, no, it's just my dog. Sorry. Um, but yeah, fun times. Kids aspect is a whole, yes, that's a whole different monster. I got three myself, love them to death, but man, they test my patience in all different ways. And
Absolutely, but yeah, but they come to markets with us, and they have they have a good time. With they're old enough now that like yeah, we just bring them along. And we're like I don't know, figure entertain yourself or help out with this or go for a walk around.
Yeah,
But
they'll run the markets eventually.
yeah,
yeah, that's the thing, right? One of these days they'll
yeah.
take over some of that stuff, hopefully, and then we can focus on other things. So
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of societies that have literally only survived off of that mindset and concept. So, it's not a weird thing to do. And actually, I do agree with that idea of like introducing them to the idea of the market and seeing like what it means to own your own business and to like actually be out there and have those interactions and really developing those overall skills to be able to just be successful in life and to introduce it in that way where it's not dependent on their failure or success is a great trial ground for them.
yeah, I mean, I've always told them like you can do not anything, because that's some bullshit, but you can do whatever you want if you just put your mind to it and work hard enough at it, right? Like, and then I hope that I lead by example with them, you know. So it's like, it's just nice. Yeah, it's nice to have them around to see what we're doing, and like, it's hilarious watching them interact with Dan because he'll give them shit, and you're like, I need this, get back to work or whatever. Like, or they'll complain that they're bored, and he's like, I don't care, do something then, like, you know, stock the table or whatever. So yeah, it's our entire existence is this sauce game right now. So
Yeah. Well, is there a sauce that's like, as y'all were either making it or whatever, or after it was done, whatever the case may be, that you know, this might be a different sauce for each one of y'all, but has there been one that's just like really blown you away or like captivated your attention more so than say the others?
Ooh, that's a tough one. So I feel like every time we produce a sauce, we always when we try it, we're like, God damn, that's good. And so it's really tough. But I'm gonna say our rock sauce, which is a cayenne with caramelized onions and fresh garlic. That one's it's my go-to, and obviously Cosmic Coyote. I mean, I have my own taste just for myself for the year, so
yeah,
All right. All
yeah,
right.
and I mean, it's the mildest one, but closed on Sundays for me is always an absolute like whatever I'm eating, it's gonna go well on. But then yeah, that's such a tough, fun question because it's like which one of your kids is your favorite, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, and that's the whole reason what invoked the idea of one of the games that I roll out, which is the sauce bracket, which also there's different iterations of that. But yeah, for those sauce makers that make like 16 or more different sauces, I'll typically roll that out. One, because it kind of invokes that same question, but then also you're also getting a better understanding of all the different sauces, because as you're eliminating something as the maker, you're not going to want to just eliminate it and just not say anything. Of course you want to kind of explain and defend a little bit, and that helps also establish a better understanding for those that are in the market curious about the your overall lineup and what's going on, to really lean into it in that way. So it's a fun way, but yeah, it's very true to that. And I always lead off with that preference, which is like ultimately, if something loses, it's not that it is absolutely never going to be something you should have. It's just
yeah,
simply a
so
game.
I actually I have a second answer. So I'm gonna go with one that's like really near and dear to my heart. So it's our friendship sauce. So it's sauce, Carolina Reaper, garlic, onion, and lime. But it's got like 10 to 15 Carolina Reaper pods per bottle. So it's hot. Um, but that one has a really, really important story for us. Originally, it was going to be called A Letter to Yuri because I had a really bad gout flare up. And if people who have gout, they know how painful it is. And we felt the sauce embodied that pain. Right before we were about to release it, our friend Kip Coquet passed away suddenly, and it affected us. And he was loved our sauce. We had been on his podcast, on his radio show, and all that stuff. So his radio show was called Kip Interviews His Friends, and so we immediately changed the name to A Letter to His Friends. And the artwork was a very sexy, like Prince style calligraphy with a white label with the white album kind of like shows through with the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it had that. Oh, there it is.
yeah. I was like, I
Wow,
have it
there
right
we
here.
go.
I should have figured out how to get this in the camera.
I like it.
Yeah, letter to his
Kinda
friends.
see it, yeah.
Like, and then like the worn out.
Yeah.
He was a musician and a cook, and one of my last hangs with him was dropping him off, and he was like, I think Dan was there too, and he's like, yeah, you want some vinyl that I don't want? And I was like, I mean, sure, like I'm not going to say no to Rumors and some weird jazz record, but yeah, Volume 1.
After we released that, we did 100 bottles, and we obviously wanted to continue releasing the sauce. So we changed the name to Friendship because friendship's one of the most painful things in the world. It's love and loss, pain and joy, good times and the bad times. And we also changed the label. which became Kip sitting in front of a campfire with these creatures around him, and those creatures actually come from Harley's daughter. So he created these things and was like, "Can you use this in something?" And we were like, "Yes, yes, we can." Put those around Kip, so it kind of embodies Kip playing to his demons. There you go. I was curious if you were gonna pop it up.
Yep. I was just slowly trying to get this thing to work for me. But yeah, so let's see if I can. I'm going to try to just zoom in without zooming in. That way, boom, look at that. Oh, get it off the screen a little bit. There we go. Now that's a pretty good representation of everyone to be able to keep up with what's going on. But yeah, no, absolutely love it. Once again, great visual pop. You know, I understand the overall initial run, that labeling, much more like deep felt. This is a much more like a statue, a thing to like commemorate the overall friendship that y'all had. So that's very cool to see there.
And it's always fun when someone comes up to us and says, "What's your hottest sauce?" And we say it's friendship, and then they laugh and they're like, "Why would you call it that?" And then we tell them, and they're like, "Wow, that makes perfect sense."
Yeah. It's one of those things that a lot of folks just like, yeah, if you hear the name, it's like, oh, okay, you know, you're just joking with me. But like to have that backstory, to have that understanding, it just brings more meaning, more value, and really continues to live on past just utilizing the sauce. So,
Yep. Exactly. We really wanted to immortalize the idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, very cool. I have a very fun game, dual round game plan. So let's go ahead and kick it on over there. All right. So here we go. We have the 5. Now, with the 5, the way this is done so in it's a 2 round. So at first, there's going to be, for any of those that are watching, listening, and unfamiliar with it, there's going to be 5 images that are shown. Now, out of these 5 images that are shown, really what's going to happen, you're going to be seeing these one at a time, and then from there, you have to place them in the order on the left side of the screen of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Now, 5 could be the best, or 1 could be the best, and however that ends up actually shaking out at the end is totally up to you. Now, the only thing that we can't do is we can't move the image once it's set. We can talk about it afterwards if you would have shuffled anything around, but for the sake of the game, that is the way that it flows. So let's go ahead and jump on into the very first item. Well, we're going to lean into the band side of things here on this one. So up first, we have Slipknot.
Hey, Josh, do you want to take this first round, or you want me to do it?
You take Slipknot, and I'll see what comes next.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I was gonna say 1 is top.
It doesn't.
Let's go.
That the definitive part is up to you. So 1 could either be the best or 5 could be the best, but it has to continue in that order. So if like 5 is the best, then 4 would be technically 2, 3.
First two albums are great. I'm gonna say fell off after that. I'm gonna go put them at 4.
All right. 4 it is. Let me shrink that a little bit to accommodate for what's coming up next. All right. Well, Spirit Box.
Is that a band?
Yeah, apparently this is a metal band out of Canada. I actually had to, I had a few that I already knew I was going to throw in here, and then I had to grab a few that I wasn't familiar with, but are also top trending or top popular for. So I did the parameters of 2020 or 2000s to 2025.
Okay, wild. Band from Canada, never heard of. All right, it's cool. All right, so, but now I have to pick what the order is here, right, Dan? Because you've put them at 4, meaning either they're the second best or the second last.
Well, you and I both know those first 2 albums are.
Yeah, no, they're absolutely insane. So good. And then, I'm going to put Spirit Box at 5.
All right. Well, here's the other fun part. See, oftentimes everyone gets their footing in the first round, and then whenever the second round starts up, new category, then they know exactly how to maneuver this. But no worries. Let's see. Up next, we have Tool.
Oh, that's going to be number one.
Yeah. They put that.
Actually, no, I lied. Oh, you didn't lock it. Okay,
no, I didn't.
I'm going to go 2.
You're going to go 2?
I'm going to go 2 because you didn't lock it.
What do y'all... That 2 on both?
2.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
Up
that
next.
was one of the craziest shows.
Oh, Tool is high up there for... I still have yet to see them live. Now, I've had a few opportunities to, and every time it's not worked out. But it's high up on the list. All right.
It's the best 3 shows of my life.
Ghost. Another band.
We're gonna put that in 3 then, and risk what's coming up for number 1.
Yeah, and risk. Yeah.
Well,
I hope it's something awesome. I hope it's like.
It sounds like you kind of worked yourself into a bad possible scenario where, 5 and 1 could possibly be something that you are not too familiar with. But let's see what number 5 is. Well, Lone Shore.
Oh, Lone Shore. Yeah.
Sure, number 1.
Yeah, I'll take that as a 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been okay with that being 2 and Tool being 1 or vice versa. Yeah, it's...
Yeah. No, that's pretty good. I think Spirit Box will feel bad because we just don't know who they are.
Yeah.
But now we know what we're going to listen to when we're driving around later.
Yeah, it's like we got to go do some stuff later, and that's what we're going to check out for sure.
All right. I like it. Well, let's load up the next game here, and we'll dive on into this one. Now, this category is not going to be quite the same, but the same rules, the same way to play is, in action. So up first, well, we have Friendship.
Josh, you got the first one on this one.
Okay, I'm putting it at 5 because it's too damn hot for me.
All right.
It's delicious, and I threw up and blew up blood vessels in my eye.
Okay.
One time from it.
I agree with that.
All right. Easy enough. Up next, well, closed on Sunday.
It's our most popular sauce.
Those 2 are the most popular sauces, yeah.
Those 2 are actually the most popular. Yeah. So I'm putting it at number 1. It's got to go there. It's the taste of Manitoba. If you like pickles, you love that sauce. Homegrown pickles, homegrown jalapenos, dill, mustard seed. You can't go wrong.
The prairies in a bottle.
I like it. All right. Well, we have City Rock.
I'm going to slot it in at number 2 then.
All right. Let's go ahead.
Nice.
It's an absolute Swiss Army knife sauce. Right? Works with everything.
Exactly.
All right. Then we have Big Sky.
Oh, Big Sky's going number 3. That's an easy 3 because guess what? It's the heat 3 on the heat scale.
I like it. Good rationale.
It's also
good
nice
reason.
everyday. Sweet, smoky, savory. Boom.
All right. Well, number 4 is, Dragon Breath.
Sure, yeah, we'll pop Dragon's Breath in number 4.
Nice. I had Dragon's Breath on some chicken yesterday, and it was...
Well, we had it on those banh mi sandwiches, and it's really nice on pizza.
Man.
And it's just so good on all sorts of weird things that aren't barbecue related. And then you get into barbecue, and you're like, what?
I definitely could see that going phenomenal on a banh mi sandwich. Absolutely. So, all right. I like it. What did y'all think of the overall breakdown of the 5?
Liked it. I like both rounds. Yeah. I liked them.
And I like that this round is not in order of heat, and it's also not necessarily in order of most favored, but it works and it makes sense. I like this lineup, I like this order.
Well,
but it is in order though. 1 is our mildest, 3 is medium, and 5 is the hottest.
But Grill Wizard's not hotter than Big Sky.
I know, but
I mean it's 1, 3, and 5.
Splitting hairs here.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
All right.
I only got a couple left, so I'm going to split them, all right?
Well,
if you set a bar. We're like a married couple, okay? Just let us argue, let us fight, and let us bicker.
Well, that was the 5 dual round rundown. Hopefully, that was a nice refresh, mental, cleansing palate, if you will, to really kind of dive into this next part here, which is the nugget of knowledge. Now, I guess we could kind of gear this one towards those individuals that are, maybe they've started and they're really they're kicking around the idea. Do they take this hobby from being a hobby to like pushing it to the next step? What would be y'all's nugget of knowledge for that?
So I was thinking about this one yesterday, and be patient. Be patient. There's a lot of guys who I know are coming up in the scene here, who are like, "How can we be like you? We want to be like you. Like, how do you guys get to where you are?" And it's just be patient, work hard at it, and shoot your shot. Like, you never know what you can do, and nothing's gonna happen overnight.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The timing aspect is always a struggle and a hurdle for a lot of folks. So I can definitely see that.
Yeah, and love what you're doing would be my other and love when you hate it. Right? Like even when you're like, ugh, you still have to want to do it. Yep. Whatever it is. Right?
Yeah. And once you start hating it, it's now become a job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's when it becomes.
There's something beautiful between those two. If you really connect those two together, because ultimately, if you don't love what you're doing, and you aren't patient, like the patience only works out if you love what you're doing. And if you don't love what you're doing, the patience feels like the time frame that you have to be extra patient. You feel like you're just kind of either spinning your gears or you're going backwards or something, isn't just panning out the way that you had mentally envisioned. And so, having those two in tandem is absolutely a phenomenal thing to have. So very great nugget of knowledge there. Thank y'all so much for that. So this next part is, well, since there's 2 of y'all, you can have 2 different nominations, etc. Of the hot seat. This is someone that you think would make a great guest for the show.
Ooh, I know mine right off the hop. I'm going to go with one of our good buddies out of Saskatoon. I'm going to say Deadly Dan. Amazing sauces, amazing dude, and just going to say, he also makes one of the best smash burgers I've ever had in my life.
Oh, yeah, that's a true story.
Especially after an 8-hour drive.
Oh, man, okay. I know they don't make. I know they don't make hot sauce, but I think Snail Mate would be amazing on this, like the hot sauce for blood guys. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're aware of them out of Arizona. That'd be super dope. But and then up here, Mike Jack Heats, like the pepper eating guy that we met. Does it have to be a maker, or can it be pepper related? Right? Dan,
no, anything to do with the World of Hot. So
yeah, he's got Guinness Book World Records for eating. Is that his name, right?
Yeah, Mike Jack.
Yeah. So again,
I'm not sure if you've had him on the show yet, but
yeah. So Mike Jack has come on before. Would love to have him back on. But yes, so hot sauce for blood, I have not had on yet. So that's a great nomination there too.
And I'm good. Okay, now I'm going to totally change what I was going to say. Mount St. Hell. That's who should be on this show. He's French, so you'll have to deal with his crazy Frenchness. But that dude, oh yeah. Okay, there we go. That's my answer. We met him in an expo. And he was just such a rad dude, and his vibe was just exactly like
his artwork's also dope. Like if you like artwork on bottles. Oh.
Yeah. Check that guy out. Mount St. Hell. Yeah, there we go. That's
Mount St. Hell.
Are perfectly fine. But
I'll be reaching out, and I'll have lined up a time for having Mount St. Hell on, as well as Deadly Dan on.
Yeah.
And look forward to having them on and diving into getting to know them better as well. But man, absolutely amazing. You know, the last little part here is greatly beneficial for those that are just audio only listening. Where can they find you? How can they find you? And any kind of announcements that y'all want to make, this is a great opportunity for that.
You can find us at intergalacticsauces.com. Find us at our Instagram, Intergalactic Sauces. Same with Facebook and all the other things that people do to waste their time and drain their brain energy. Um, we only ship to Canada right now, so those listening in the States, we apologize. But just goes.
Once things change, we will. It's just we can't right now. It's a bummer.
Yep. No worries. No worries there. Josh, Dan, thank y'all so much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure. Obviously, there's still so much more we can dive into and unpack. And obviously, the continued growth of intergalactic sauces is going to be a fun one to keep up with, and really to be able to just watch y'all's growth, watch the overall takeover happen, because you keep asking, you keep knocking on those doors, and big things are going to keep coming. So thank y'all so much for being here, and glad to have y'all back on.
Awesome. This is a great time.
Absolutely, man. Super fun.
Josh, Dan, thank you so much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. If you would like to keep up with Intergalactic Sauces, I'll have the direct links down below for them, as well as a link to the main site so you can check out the full lineup of amazing products. As 2026 kicks off, you will continue to dive into these conversations with new sauce makers, new spicy product makers, all different avenues within the space, as well as working in some other conversations that are just beneficial to your everyday life, just continuously growing, expanding, and having a great time. So new episodes drop every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Central. And don't forget, this is your place for everything to do with the world of hot. So continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are just curious about the world of hot. Also, we have sponsorship opportunities open for 2026. So if you're interested in sponsoring the podcast, having a featured segment, go ahead, reach out via theswearword.net or reach out on socials, and we'll get that conversation started. For our current sponsors, podvision.io. If you're looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you've hit a bump in the road, you're trying to figure things out, highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all of those needs, as well as webdx.one. Maybe you have an online site and you had a guy and you lost contact, or maybe you never got around to building one. Highly recommend checking out webdx.one for all the ways to make you looking great online while you get to focus on what you do best. I'm Brandon Swear. From everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.